from Likuyani constituency. They will have a moment to speak, but I want first of all to read the statement for this presser, and we'll open up for questions. So we have met here this morning as elected MPs, among the ones who have before us. In addition, we have Honorable Kibangendi, who is supposed to be here, Honorable Sothi, who is supposed to be here, Honorable Edwin Sifuna is supposed to be here, and the ODM and the Azimio Parliamentary Group held on the 12th of July at the Jaramogi Foundation in Nairobi. At no time during the said meetings was it resolved that either the party or the coalition will be joining a coalition with William Ruto's KK party. It therefore came as a shock when senior members of ODM showed up on a list of cabinet appointees announced by Ruto yesterday. That some of our leaders have chosen to join a government indicted by the Kenyan people struggle to address the long-standing people responsible we love, as there clearly was no regard to gender, age, or regional considerations. We wish to reiterate that the position of the party, as communicated by our Secretary General, who is Edwin Sifuna, earlier this week, that indeed the decision by our four comrades were personal and not as a result of any decision passed by the party. We call on the party leadership to move with speed and replace them. That is the end of the statement. I want to finish ideas. I've deserted duty and gone to sleep with our enemy. It has no direction, and find 4 generals and a brigadier have deserted duty and joined the opposite camp. So we are saying this is not the position of the party. Such monumental decision affecting the history, the principles, the ideologies of the party must have been passed by the parliamentary group meeting. I want to give my colleagues to add on what I've said, and I'll leave room for questions.
As a party, as elected members of the party, and has got very elaborate structures, and elaborate has always matters. ODM is ODM what it is because of those long-held values. Our colleagues who have left to join government have left, I want to reiterate again to repeat, on their own volition. The ODM party is not in a coalition government with the KK party. ODM will remain in parliament as the minority party and will continue to offer oversight the KK government and expose all the ills, all the corruption, so that we continue to build and enhance this constitution and enhance our integrity, accountability. We just hope our colleagues who have joined the government, because we don't see much that's going to come out of this KK government. We do not know exactly what they are going to do. So as a party, we dissociate ourselves from them, let them go in their individual. If they want to go and serve KK government, if they know how to implement bottoms up, let it.
Mine is very brief. One, that I want to wish those who have relinquished their party positions to join government well. And I want to declare here that I will be offering myself to replace one of the leaders who has left the party, so that we can continue with the ideals. We can continue with the ideals of this party. The public is wondering. It was the right time for us to abandon. It is just generous who have downed tools, and other generals at the battlefront. Finally, I want to say this. ODM is a national party. We cannot reduce it to sharing seats tribally. It is very, very unfortunate. It is unfortunate that we lost over 50 young people in the last 1 month. It's unfortunate that we lost 75 people last year. And before we resolve the issues of their compensation, before to address the issues being addressed by Gen Z, we behave like vultures. The party. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then the second question that Kenyans across are asking, and it's serious: can the 4 individuals go on their own without the blessing of the party leader? Knowing the way ODM has been and all that, and the other political parties, can they go on their own without the blessing of the party? Can people believe that it was there on their own? Can people believe that it was there on their own and not without the blessings of the party leader? Who had talked of dialogue and who was...
As much as there is a party leader, but ODM operates under decision-making, is a parliamentary group that was called upon last week that comprises members of, and the issue of is a National People's Convention. And it was read to the media, the standpoint of ODM as a party, and later on, it was also adopted by the entire Azimio brigade. So that is the structure of ODM, and that's how it operates, and that is the prism under which most political parties operate. So there is no any other decision other than that was given last parliamentary group. And you are aware that our party leader is null and void. It is, and the Secretary General, through his letter, was written yesterday, yesterday but one, declaring the stand of ODM that there are precedents to an engagement of KK. The precedents, number 1, is that abduction must stop. Secondly, all the people have lost life in the struggle from when Azimio was on the streets up to when the Gen Zs have been on the streets. All affected must be compensated fully. They hospitalized out of the brutalities of the police, and a number of police officers who have been mentioned either in through media and they have been spotted, they must be brought to book. Those are the conditionalities of having the People's Convention. None of those conditionalities have been met. So that's why I am saying what happened yesterday were individuals who are clamoring to get, and they are getting out of ODM. It will emerge. Maybe this time is the process of parliament. You cannot, ODM cannot stop vetting. The vetting will proceed because that is a parliamentary procedure.
And when they come, when the report comes to the floor of the House, members of Parliament will vote based on what their constituencies tell them. If they say don't pass this one, I, as a member of Parliament for Nyula, I will not vote. But if they say depend on what you have, but you have some members in the entire cabinet who are defend themselves. Chama cha ODM hakijaungana na chama cha UDA ama KK kwa muungano wote. Kwa hivyo kwa wakati huu vile tunavyo wamesaliti chama. Hiyo ni kusema tu kweli, wamesaliti chama, wamesaliti wa Kenya, wamesaliti wale vijana ambao walikufa tangu mwaka jana.
Ujuavyo ndugu yangu, mtu yoyote ambaye anafikiri anaweza msaidia kazi. Lakini katika demokrasia ya vyama vingi, ukitaka kumchukua mtu kutoka kwa chama kingine, inabidi rais awe na njia ya kuzungumza na uongozi wa chama kile. Katibu wa chama chetu ambaye yeye ndiye huweka nakala zote za mikutano wa NEC, mkutano wa CMT na mkutano wa parliamentary group ikiwa pamoja na NEC, amekanusha katakata. Na ule mkutano sisi tunasema tulielewana kuwa hakutakuwa na njia ya sisi kuacha kazi yetu kama walio wachache katika bunge tuingie katika serikali. Kwa hivyo kuambatana na hayo, na kwamba yeye kama katibu ajuavyo, hakuna mkutano ambao umeitwa wa vyama kuzungumza, tumekubaliana
And also, I think in the appointment committee, some ODM members of that committee, why not have them also remain adamant that they are not going, or they'll actually write a dissenting report on the same?
Yes, of course, we've written a minority report before. Last cabinet, remember, those who followed the proceedings.
People have combined them.
Yes.
One question.
Yes.
Because the word out there is that it's your party leader who fronted their name.
Yes.
Sure. Who is telling the truth? Sure. Who is telling the truth?
But there was everything has a process. There have been a parliamentary group meeting was there. The letter written by certain party leader.
Are you implying that Raila Odinga was not aware of what has happened?
But we are saying the same. A coalition government cannot be done in a convoluted manner. You know what a coalition government is. You cannot have a coalition government with a few people, patches here and there, joining the government. You must sit down, draw a coalition agreement. So if William Ruto decides to fire Oparanya, what will you do? If William Ruto decides to fire Joho, what will you do as a party? There must be an agreement that we are giving you, even this member becomes incompetent, shall be replaced by another member from the party. It cannot just be the way it was. This is a national coalition government. It's not a national agenda that you will see the party leader there. Where you saw William Ruto, you should have seen Gachagua, you should have seen Mudavadi, you should have seen Raila Odinga there. The absence of Raila Odinga tells you that is not part and parcel of what was happening. That was pure shenanigans from the four generals.
The question here is, where is Odinga's voice?
Fine.
Yes.
We will come to that. First of all, let's be very clear. Any coalition government, as Amis has said, must have some coalition document. And any coalition government must have a harmonized manifesto. Yeah. So which manifesto are we going to implement? Is it a coalition? It has not repudiated its membership in the Azimio coalition.
Yes.
So it cannot proceed to enter into another coalition before it repudiates this coalition. Then any letter.
Yes.
Any letter, where is it? You see, as we clearly say, we should avoid besmirching people's names. Baba did not write any letter. And if there's any letter that was rewritten, let whoever received the letter give us. In any case, there's nothing secret.
Yes.
Yeah, just something important.
Can we take the questions?
Just a minute, let me just clarify something.
But when Baba went for handshake the other time, there were no even documents which were publicized. So what makes you think that this time there should be documents?
Which handshake? But there was no coalition.
There was no coalition.
There was no coalition. Did you see anybody? No, just a minute. Let's not confuse things. Did you see Uhuru appointing anybody from ODM party to his government? He didn't.
Maybe you can combine the questions.
Yes. No, there's something I wanted to clarify here. Why is Raila not saying no? You have Raila's conduct. You know, we are speaking in our right as members of parliament, members of the party, members who attended the parliamentary group meeting. Okay? We are not speaking here as spokesman of Raila Amolo Odinga.
Is it defending him? Is it possible? Silence is loud. Is it possible, Mheshimiwa, that
there could be an agreement and you are not aware of that.
No, that's
An agreement has to be ratified by the party structures. There was never such agreement presented in any party organs, be it at the NEC, be it at the management committee, be it at the parliamentary group committee meeting. There was never such any agreement. In any case, the precedent to that agreement would have been a harmonized manifesto. These are employees, our colleagues, and wish them well.
Yes.
We don't know what they will do.
Yes. No, we said the new generals are going to emerge. There is never a nature buzz vacuum. So there's not going to be a vacuum in ODM. New general. In fact, for your information, we are proposing that Edwin Sifuna will be there as the deputy party leader to hold brief for Raila as he campaigns for AU. So there is no vacuum. We are going to fill this vacuum. Vacuums are a field. Every party, when there is a position, other people feel it. You cannot.
Politics, by its nature, is about interest. If people switch their interest from ODM to Kenya Kwanza, those of us who still believe in the mass movement of ODM, we take over.
So with the development, how do you envision your role to oversight the government objectives moving forward as ODM?
In addition,
Yes.
also,
So
are you mounting pressure for Raila to also come out so that you can also know his stand?
Okay.
You can join also with this.
Yes.
So Kenyans are asking, especially the Gen Zs, they are telling you guys hawakuwa wanafaitia nyinyi.
Exactly.
Na watu wamepatiwa nafasi. Eti baba anaweza akajilia watoto wake waende bila waende wakalelewa na jirani bila yeye kujua. That's the question.
Now, let's be very, very clear. And I want you to be very clear. ODM bring its role at all to any other party. ODM will remain the minority party. And you can rest assured, we are going to oversight that the government robustly, whether our colleagues get appointed or not, we will continue even if they get appointed. When they do anything wrong, we will call them out as being what they are. So do not worry. On the issue of, and let us also be very clear, Baba speaks for himself and Baba will speak for himself. Just give him time. He is now back in the country. He will speak for himself and answer all the questions you are asking him to answer. Thank you.
Babu has arrived. Babu has arrived.
Yeah?
So you're asking where's Raila also?
No, Raila is around.
Raila is an individual. SG cannot write a letter without Baba's blessings. He's the party leader.
Okay.
Babu. Ambaye tu mwana baba. I don't want to speak for Baba bwana. Tumeshasoma so chapa tu. Na mimi yangu. Sasa ni yangu. Whichever. This is haya tuendelee. Haya. We are just saying we don't agree with we are just saying we don't agree with the same thing. Citizen hujawapanga kwa nini? Anakataa bwana, naona nyumba yenye hao watu wameleta. Sawa. Hao watu wa Citizen wamekataa. Hebu nitie huyo jamaa bwana. Si mimi ndio tutapi. Wacha tu niwaongeleshe tu 1 minute. Tujui. No, wacha tu nimuongeleshe kama amekataa. 1 minute tu na nini. Hii yangu ni 2 minutes. Na hii decision wali arrive hata aje kuwaleta huku bwana. Kwani what is wrong na hawa watu?
Oh, can go on, eh?
Yeah, but can we have also a limit now that it's here?
Oh, I think iko sawa. Alafu nyinyi pia mnaweza kataa moving forward kucover anybody kwa hii story ya bunge. Si it make sense poa, alafu sisi tuwa defend mrudi huko. Cause hii sasa kuna activities mingi nataka kufanywa huko bwana. Tuko ready? Nani ako na penda nisaidie nayo 1 minute. One. Aya, now Doctor. Yeah, they are true. E. Huh? See, there are two, bwana. One was from Benin Republic, and the other one from the House of Lords at the United Kingdom. See, you know that. This is my statement concerning the Cabinet Secretary's nominees that were read yesterday by President William Ruto, and it reads, citizens of my fellow citizens, let me start. Ambia watu bwana, hey, ndugu, enda huko kwa kiwanja bwana, tunini tu kidogo tu. Hey, intellectual ukiinterfere na mind yake bwana, sasa ina think of another thing. My fellow citizens, let me start by expressing my heartfelt condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones these last few weeks. I feel your pain, and I know meaningful healing comes. To those nursing injuries from the brunt of Ruto's forces in hospital beds and at home, I wish you quick recovery. May God. Kenyans, it is now exactly one. Demonstrate, picket, and petition their representatives to reject the Finance Bill 2024. The Gen Zs and Millennials and Kenyans of goodwill, some young in body and some young at heart, stood together to say no to an oppressive tax regime. They also spoke. So I start again. Okay, ni paragraph moja tu. Okay, let me just start ni 1 minute tu. Uko ready? Thank you. My fellow citizens, let me start by expressing my heartfelt condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones these last few weeks. And I know it will take time before meaningful healing comes. To home, I wish you quick recovery. May God console you. Demonstrate, picket, and petition their representatives to reject the Finance Bill 2024. The Gen Zs and Millennials and Kenyans of goodwill, some young in body and some young at heart, stood together to say no to an oppressive tax regime. They also spoke unequivocally that they want a reformed government. Young people in Kenya are concerned about, 1, poor agriculture production, which threatens our food adequacy, safety, and security. 2, parents, teachers, and learners alike are all confused by the CBC syllabus and transition. College and universities are dropping from colleges. 3, our healthcare is now completely broken, with NHIF looted and left incapable of meeting claims by hospitals, some of which have now been forced to close down. Our infrastructure is crumbling, roads are not maintained, our ports are being auctioned, and basic access to water and electricity is out of reach to many Kenyans. The business environment has been destroyed by bad government policy in sector after sector. Foreign direct investment has gone down, and we have seen investors running away to neighboring countries, leaving Kenyans jobless. The unemployment rate has skyrocketed. The cost of living has gone beyond, cannot afford a decent living. To make matters clear, the young people came out to demand that their president confront these challenges. Instead, what did the president do? Number one, he used goons and criminals to infiltrate peaceful demonstrations to get reasons to unleash violence against Kenyans. He used the police to unleash terror on young people. Resorted to abductions, forced disappearance, torture, killings, and mutilation of bodies of the Kenyan children. The president hoodwinked us by withdrawing to implement its draconian provisions. He deceitfully dissolved his cabinet on grounds of incompetence. Instead, he raided the opposition to appoint cabinet secretaries in a bid to weaken oversight against his government and to gain cosmetic stability to consider the next general election and to ignore